This is Erik, the House Fankhouser here. I'm 5 weeks out from the Mr. Olympia contest on my road prep. Everything up to this point at 5 weeks out with training has been difficult, but at 5 weeks out is really when you get your gut check. 5 weeks out, things really start to change. At 5 weeks out, it's basically what makes you. It's what separates the champions from just the average person. A lot of things usually change at 5 weeks out for me in my training. At 5 weeks out, basically what I did was I added another cardio session. So right now I'm doing 3 cardio sessions a day at 30 minutes each. Or if I'm crunched for time for some days, I'll be doing 2 cardio sessions at 45 minutes each. So I'm getting 90 minutes of cardio in a day. When you're doing 90 minutes of cardio, that's a lot of time you're spending on the cardio. Basically, I'm still working my 40 hours a week, so I'm getting my 8 hours in a day at work, and then my hour and a half of cardio, and then usually my hour and a half of strength training in. So that's around 3 hours of time in the gym a day on top of that 8 hours that you're working. So I mean, that's a lot of time that you're putting into other things than and it's just like compared to what I'm used to doing. When you start getting around that 3 hours to 4 hours in a gym time in a day, 7 days a week, it gets tough and it gets very hard on your body. But at 5 weeks out, you got to do that. I'm a big believer that from 5 weeks out in is really what makes you. I mean, the dieting up to that point is hard. I'm not going to say it's not, but at 5 weeks out, it really changes, and that's when I start to see most changes in my body. With my diet at this point, I changed all my meals to fish. So right now I'm eating 6 to 7 fish meals a day at either 8 ounces or 10 ounces, depending on if it's a high protein day or a lower protein day. I also changed my carbs to just high days and low days. I cut my medium day out at 5 weeks out. So on my low days right now, I'm getting in 27 grams of carbs. On my high days, I'm getting in about 300 grams of carbs. On my high days, I'm getting those right now 2 to 3 times a week, depending on what I look like. And my low days would be every other day. It's tough, man, when you're only taking in 27 grams of carbs a day. Sometimes you forget what you're doing, or you get kind of foggy when you're thinking, or you just kind of find yourself in la la land. It is really a gut check when you're doing that. Just depending on how I look, sometimes I will go lower with my carbs, or I'll take some of those high days out. But as of right now, it's 27 carbs on my low days. So the diet has definitely got harder, eating fish just with every meal, cutting my egg whites out and cutting my my beef meal out also. And a lot of things that just depending at this point will go on how I look and how I feel also. If I'm feeling really, really flat and really tired on some of my low carb days, I will increase the fat intake that I'm taking. And if I do that at that point out, I'll be eating almonds for my fat. So I mean, I might eat a couple servings of almonds to get a little bit of fat in there. A couple few things that I changed with my training at 5 weeks out. I started adding drop sets. I think that my core exercise, I still like to keep that very, very heavy, but then at the end I might do a drop set with that exercise, or I might just pick one exercise, do 3 straight sets, and then do a drop set. As I get closer to the show, I still try to keep everything heavy, but I'll add drop sets and giant sets and just supersets. This week I started to add a lot of drop sets to my core exercises after I do my heavy sets. I still believe that you should always get your heavy sets in and keep it as heavy as possible all the way up to the show. As in supplements, a couple things that I've changed at this point. I'm a big firm believer in amino acids. So as in right now I'm taking my branched chain amino acids, my universal BCAA stack at least 2 to 3 times a day. Right now I'm only drinking water, so usually if I'm drinking water I usually either put my branched chain amino acid stack in there or my EAA stack from Universal. So I'm doing those at least 2 to 3 times a day each, and then I'm taking my animal nitros at least 2 times a day. I think it helps keep your muscle mass and it helps keep you going, and the flavors with that adding to the water actually makes it get my 2 gallons of water in each day a little easier. Another thing that I just started at 5 weeks out would be I added my animal cuts. I'm gonna run that for 3 weeks and see what happens there. And then if I have to, I'll take a week off and then run it for another 3 weeks right into the show. Usually, I have good results with the animal cuts. I like how it keeps my water weight off, and it increases my metabolism, and it has a little caffeine in it, so it gives me some energy to sustain my workouts. Another thing I've been taking, since I've cut my fat, I've upped my animal omega to 2 to 3 packs a day. I'm a big believer that you need those good fats in there, and I think the animal omega helps you keep that in there. It's a good, easy way to do that. Usually, once you start getting drier and leaner, that's when it pays off to be taking the animal flex all the way up to this point and making sure that you're still taking it. So animal flex is always in my regimen of supplements. And this is when you really notice the difference if you're not taking that supplement. So I've been taking it, like you say, it's reassurance in the bank there that you've taken it all the way up to this time, and it helps keep those joints lubricated as you get leaner like this. I'm always taking my animal pack. At this point, when you're working out this hard, there's always chances of running your body down. So I usually increase my animal pack to 2 times a day instead of once what I usually get. So I'll take it once in the morning and then once in the evening after I train. Pre-workout supplements, right now I'm just sticking to the Animal Pump. I like it because it's in pill form and there's no calories and no carbohydrates. It's a great product. It helps with the energy. It helps with getting pumps during my workout. Post-workout, right now I'm still taking my Universal Torrent Zero. It's a great product. I used to always take Torrent in the off season, the regular Torrent, but with the extra calories, the Torrent Zero, which has a lot lower calories, less carbs, I can take that while I'm dieting now, where a regular Torrent I never took when I was dieting, just in the off season. But I'm glad that we have those products to offer there, and to keep things going post workout. The Torrent Zero is great. A lot of other things have went on this week. It was my little girl London's first birthday party this weekend. She's turned 1 year old. Can't believe the times went by that fast, man. I can remember pretty much I started my diet when she was very, very young. I've been dieting since December, and that's crazy that it's pretty much going to be almost a year when I end my diet. It's going to be like 10 months, and to see my little girl turn a year within that time, it's kind of crazy that I've been on a contest diet almost the whole time that she's been alive. But she's doing great. I mean, she's the spark in my eye right now, and she gives me a lot of motivation. When I come home from the gym on those long training days, I'll see her and see my son Xavier and see my wife, and it just kind of brings me back to reality, and it's like definitely a breath of fresh air when you see them, and you might be having a bad day and you just look at her and she smiles, and it just makes everything worth it. So at this point, man, everything is definitely getting harder, definitely, and it's just gonna get harder. So the closer that we get to the show, more things are gonna change with my training, and I'll keep you guys informed on that. Since I started my prep and my video blogs here, I'm down about 7 to 8 pounds in the last 3 weeks. So we'll see what my weight gets down to. My last show I competed at about 222 on stage. Right now I'm hanging about 235 to 237. So we'll see how it ends up in the next 5 weeks. I would like to keep my weight about 225 on stage. And I've been 225 on stage, so hopefully I'll be right around there, be big and full and hard at that weight. Alright guys, thanks for everything, and I'll be checking back in at 4 weeks out.